diplomatic relations between Ethiopia and Canada. We welcome you all. I'll give a short rundown of the program this evening. First, we'll have a national anthem played, Canadian and Ethiopian national anthem, and then Her Excellency Ambassador Burtukan Ayyaru will give a short remark about the event today, and our guest of honor, Honorable Louise Brown, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of International Development, will give a short remark. Now, may I call your attention to the national anthem. Thank you.
Senators, honorable members of Parliament, Excellencies, distinguished members of Canadian government and invited guests, members of the Ethiopian community, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this occasion to celebrate our National Day and the 50th anniversary of the commencement of Ethio-Canada diplomatic relations. On behalf of the Embassy and that of myself, I would like to take this opportunity to express my profound gratitude to all of you for being here with us this evening to celebrate this important event. I would particularly like to note the presence of Honorable Louise Brown, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of International Development, as a guest of honor representing the Canadian government among us this evening. Ethiopia celebrates May 28 as a day that marked the downfall of the brutal military regime and the dawn of a new era of peace, development, and democracy. May 28 or Gumbo 20 is being celebrated across the nation for the 24th time. This year's celebration is particularly important as it is observed right after the 5th general election held on May 24, whereby close to 35 million nations, nationalities, and the peoples of Ethiopia have exercised their constitutional and democratic rights as an expression of their sovereignty. The government of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia has deployed every effort to make the May 2015 election fair, free, peaceful, democratic, and credible in the eyes of the Ethiopian people. Since the adoption of the Constitution in 1995, a wide range of benefits have been achieved in terms of economic prosperity, equality, peace, and security, and respect for human rights as well as democracy. The Constitution put in place a system that facilitates sustainable economic development and the equitable share of outcome by all segments of the society. Ethiopia has one of the fastest growing economies in the world, which managed to maintain an average 11% GDP growth for the last.
I spoke with Minister Nicholson, who sends his deep regrets that he can't join me tonight. He has other obligations and he's leaving tonight, I believe, for other parts. And but he wanted me to convey his very best wishes to you, Ambassador, and best wishes for another 50 years. Elle est occasion 24 ans depuis tout le régime militaire. Il est également le 54e anniversaire de l'établissement des relations diplomatiques entre Canada et Ethiopia. As Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of International Development and having had the pleasure of visiting Ethiopia, I know firsthand the importance of Canada-Ethiopia relations based on years of partnership, exchange, and people-to-people ties. We are very proud of the strong relationship that Ethiopia and Canada have developed over the years through joint efforts including increased trade flows, business investment, and improving the lives of those in both of our countries. Here in Ottawa, Ethiopians have recently continued their sweep of the marathon during Ottawa Race Weekend, taking both women's and men's titles. And close to my apartment, I've even discovered a place where I can buy enduro bread. Canada's current engagement in Ethiopia builds on decades of partnership. During the drought in East Africa, as the ambassador was saying in the 1980s, the Canadian government, along with civil society and non-governmental organizations, provided rapid and robust support to Ethiopia, along with an outpouring from a great number of Canadian businesses, community groups, schools, provincial and municipal governments, and just ordinary private Canadian citizens. And as you know, as the ambassador was saying, Ethiopia is a development country of focus for Canada, and a focus country for Canada's maternal, newborn, and child health.
Honorable Ms. Brown, and I would like to invite Senator Dr. Dominguez to say a word.
Indeed, an honor for me to be here tonight, and just following up on Lois's remarks, I have the privilege of the invite of the ambassador to connect with our ambassador in Addis Ababa in February, leading a business delegation there to look at opportunities for Canadian firms. And let me tell you, I was impressed by what I saw in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is the 5th largest growing economy in Africa. That's something to be proud of. For 50 years of relations with Canada, and Canada played a role in that. 30 years ago, we were about 8. And this year, we're focused on economic development, attracting Canadian firms to go there to make the necessary investments, especially for the youth of Ethiopia. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, you know my work around youth. They're not just a percentage of our population, but they're 100% of our future. And we need to find ways to engage, encourage, and empower them. And I'm saying tonight I'm proud that the leadership of the Ethiopian government is doing just that. I had the opportunity as well to visit one of the youth centers. Anywhere I've traveled in my 6th delegation abroad, I've always made an attempt to go and visit a youth center. And I'm delighted to know that the government is invested in its young people. Please give them a round of applause for that. Because they're not just a percentage of our population, but they're 100% of our future. And so, 50 years of bilateral relations. I can go on, I'm a preacher, so just bear with me. It's only 1.5 hours left. Clearly, you're on the right track. And Ambassador, you're doing an excellent job representing your country, and we wish you all the best and another 50 years. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together again for Canada. Thank you, and God bless you.
I would like to thank our honorable lady for honoring this beautiful day.
So hard.